Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our show. Today's show is about current news events that have not yet made the major media outlets. You're getting a first-hand view of some of this information and put you more in the know ahead of time. So, for the people who are really pushed for time and you need to short and skinny, this is it. Uh, Today's news, we start out with Karen Black passing away at age 74. She passed away from cancer, and it was a cancer of the pancreas. Uh, she had fought the battle for a long time. She was 74 years old, and her husband was at her side when she passed. She had been going back and forth to Europe for treatments. However, she lost the battle, and she had what they call ampullary cancer, and it was diagnosed in 2010, where she had a third of her pancreas removed. She was declared cancer-free in 2011, but in March of this year, um, it she had a reoccurrence, and it um, just took her health away, and as she passed on. So she passed on peacefully in her sleep. Next news item is gun makers are moving. Um, you got Connecticut. They've kind of like shot themselves in the foot, so to speak. They've been making guns all these years, and all of a sudden now it's intolerable. Guns, even the gun makers want to be liked, so the governors and other politicians from states eager to embrace the industry has descended on places where they are not so popular, like Connecticut, Maryland, and New York and Colorado, offering tax breaks and outright cash grants to persuade them to relocate. I sensed an opportunity, says Alan Clemens, a South Carolina state representative who traveled to Connecticut in the spring as part of a successful effort to lure PTR, a maker of assault rifles, here. They're not feeling loved right now in Connecticut, and we're delighted to have them. So that's in the news, as well as China's allowing spies to plunder companies such as giants like DuPont. Titanium dioxide formula was stolen from DuPont. The Chinese state-owned company wants a better process to make it, used in paint, so it paid spies to steal it from the industry giant DuPont. American prosecutor says that Pyongyang group aimed high. The Chinese state-owned company wanted a better process of making titanium dioxide, a white pigment used in paint, toothpaste, and Oreo cookie filling. That's an interesting combo. So it pays spies to steal it from the industry giant DuPont. The Pyongyang group was indicted last year on U.S. charges of industrial spying, and retired U.S. DuPont scientist pleaded guilty to selling secrets. Prosecutors say another defendant was encouraged by a Chinese leader to make contributions to the country, rare evidence of high-level official involvement. Then the case stalled while the prosecutors tried to force Pyongyang to answer the charges in the U.S. court. Moving along, we've got banksters back in the news again, and J.P. Morgan is indicted and has been. J.P. Morgan Chase has disclosed on Wednesday that it faced criminal and civil investigation into whether it sold shoddy mortgage securities to investors in the run-up to the financial crisis, the latest legal threat to the nation's biggest bank. J.P. Morgan acknowledged for the first time the existence of the investigation, one of several mortgage-related problems looming for the bank. In a quarterly regulatory filing, it said the Civil Division of the United States Attorney Office for the Eastern District of California, which covers the District of Lynn, stretching from Sacramento to Yosemite, has preliminarily concluded that J.P. Morgan flouted federal laws with its sale of subprime mortgage securities from 2005 to 2007. Parallel criminal inquiry, according to one person briefed on the matter, is in a more preliminary stage. So there was one of the world's largest banks in the news yet again for another infraction of the law. The NSA intends to fire 90% of their system administrators to eliminate future leaks. A system administrator is a person that is in charge of the computers, the network servers that service all of the other workstations that the NSA uses. I know that because I am a former IT person myself. Uh, NSA is going to fire 90% of their system admins to eliminate future leaks. Don't see how that's going to fix anything, because their leaks are coming from their contractors, and their contractors are coming in under the auspices of the people that hire them, their hiring managers and their project leaders. And the project leaders are controlling who gets what category of security and who does not. The National Security Agency, hit by disclosures of classified data by former contractor Edward Snowden, says it intends to eliminate 90% of the system administrators to reduce the number of people with access to secret information. So the NSA wants to keep their stuff secret, huh? Interesting. Keith Alexander, the director of the NSA, the USA spy agency charged with monitoring foreign electronic communications, told the cybersecurity conference in New York City that automating much of the work would improve security. What we're in the process of doing, not fast enough, is reducing our system administrators by about 90%, he says. The remarks came as the agency is facing scrutiny after Snowden, who had been one of about 1,000 system administrators who helped run the agency's networks, leaked classified details about surveillance programs to the press, which is a no-no. You don't spy on the spies. Another news item in the news today is outraged bondholders sue brazen eminent domaining California town. Eminent domain is when a city or state or government agency can, for the public good, take over your property, and whether you like it or not. While the likes of PIMCO, BlackRock, DoubleLine, and Wells Fargo are the major RMBS holders, their reasons for seeking a court order to block Richmond, California's eminent domain seizure of mortgages are applicable and should be worrisome for all U.S. citizens. What they're referring to is their attempt to keep these mortgages from going, under, and keeping them from being foreclosed on. And so, as we had noted previously, the asset managers warned that the Mortgage Resolution Partners' actions will seriously harm average Americans, including pension members, other retirees, and individual savers, through a brazen scheme to abuse government powers for its own profit. While the Richmond mayor stands by her decision, the investors argue that this plan is unconstitutional and discriminatory. Sounds just about right in our new normal. Of course, with President Obama's new better bargain for the middle class and his partnership with Zillow, nothing would surprise us that this becomes the new normal wealth transfer mechanism. But once again, few have considered the unintended consequences. And on the other side of the coin, internationally, we have a story coming out of Russia, the rise of the Russian bear. There's 18 reasons or 18 signs that Russia is rapidly catching up to the United States. It's more powerful than it's ever been before. Most Americans do not believe of it. They think of it as an ex-superpower. Once Vladimir Putin became president, the Russian economy started to grow very rapidly. And anyone that underestimates Russia at this point is making a huge mistake. The Russian bear is back, and today it's a more formidable adversary than it was ever at any point during the Cold War. And these are the 18 signs. Russia produces more oil than any place on the planet. The United States is in third place. Russia's number 2 oil exporter in the world. The U.S. is forced to import more oil than anyone in the world. Number 3, Russia produces more natural gas than any place in the world. The United States is in second place. 4. Russia supplies 34% of Europe's natural gas needs. The United States has a GDP ratio of 101%. Russia has a debt to GDP ratio of 8%. The United States has a trade deficit of more than $500 billion last year. Russia consistently runs a large trade surplus. The United States has an unemployment rate of 7.4. Russia has an unemployment rate of 5.4. Since Vladimir Putin first became president, the Russian economy has grown at a very rapid pace, and it's outstripped that of the U.S., of course. And reason number 9 is Russia has added 570 metric tons of gold to their reserves over the last 10 years. The United States, nobody seems to be quite sure how much gold the Federal Reserve actually has left. Number 10, Moscow is the second most expensive city in the world. Meanwhile, the United States has the unfriendliest city in the world, Newark, New Jersey. More billionaires live in Moscow than any other city on the globe. The Moscow metro system completely outclasses the subway systems in Washington, D.C. and New York City. The United States has the most powerful military on the planet, but Russia's in second place. Russia has introduced a near silent nuclear submarine, which is far more quiet than anything the U.S. has. And reason 15 is Barack Obama is neutering the U.S. strategic nuclear arsenal, and Vladimir Putin is working hard to modernize Russian nuclear forces. Number 16, Russian missiles hold more than 200 drills during the second half of 2013. Number 17, Vladimir Putin made headlines all over the world when he climbed to the cockpit of Russia's new fifth-generation fighter jet and announced that it was far superior to the F-22 Raptor. And reason number 18, it's estimated Russia has more spies in the U.S. today than it had at any point during the Cold War. So, you've been worried about China. You've been worried about the economy. Here's something else to think about. That is the news for today, folks. We're going to have to cut our show short today. We're making it under 15 minutes, but I'd like to welcome you back to our next news broadcast tomorrow at your convenience. This is a podcast, and you can download it at your convenience. Thank you for joining us, and have a good day.